Okay,
Thank you for the invitation.
go.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really nervous too because imagine this lineup of speakers and 10 minutes for 10 slides is really something challenging, but I hope you enjoyed my talk. So I decided to talk about professional development because I think as you're here at 9 a.m. is something that you are really interested in. Or maybe you're just here because you want to see Jeremy Harmer. Yes, everybody loves him. So, or not, yes. I hope you're here really to develop. I was just joking. And then this is very important because it helps our learning and our teaching. It helps our students, and we have to remember that they are the reason that we do what we do. So this is something very important for us. And also, have you ever felt like killing a student or something like it, or killing your coordinator, strangling someone? This could be because you're very tired, and this could be a reason of burnout. And I think professional development really prevents us from feeling in that way. That's why I've decided to talk about 10 tips to help you improve as a teacher. Okay, and then going to the first tip would be taking courses. Yeah, you could take a certificate, a diploma, degree. Could be by Cambridge University. I really like these ones, but could be other ones that you prefer. Uh, could be Trinity, could be a language degree, but you also could take courses, workshops, EOT events like the ones that Henrik just mentioned. There are many events for free and webinars. So sometimes teachers say, oh, but I don't have money. And I understand that we don't get so much money, but it's nice to have a plan to invest. And if we don't have money, it's very nice to try to attend those free events and webinars just like this one. Something else that we must do is studying both English and methodology. Why is that? For example, would you be operated by someone who doesn't know anything about the human body? You wouldn't, I guess, yeah? You don't want to die on the table and anything. So it's very important for you to know what you are teaching. So there are some nice books here that I just love. That's why I'd like to show to you. I think every teacher should have a grammar for teacher. This new book by Igor, who won't be here today, unfortunately, but Inglês para Professores is very interesting book too, and the book about language. I think it helps you like, oh, why is this way? You say, oh, just because it sounds nice, and then we don't have to answer this anymore when you get to know more about the language. It's also important to learn about methodology, and those are some books that really helped me learning teaching, and the How To series that brings many activities and exercises and ideas for you to use in your classes. And the book that I've used the most and was really the moment of changing for me was English Language Teaching by Jeremy Harmer, who will be here later. It really helped me at the beginning of my career, and it still does. So if you don't have those books, I recommend you could get them or borrow them from libraries. For example, here in São Paulo, the British Council Library could lend you books, so this is very nice for us to keep up to date. As I said, English is very important to be studied because we should know what you're teaching, and also methodology, because remember the doctor, he knows a lot about the body, but he doesn't know how to operate you. So you wouldn't be operated by him either. That's why studying is so important. And together with this, I would say that stay tuned and getting online is important too. So we must know English, we must know materials and resources, equipment, but we must keep up to date. And there are many nice ways of doing that, and they're for free, basically. Here displayed, I have some interesting blogs and websites that will help you for free. In this BBC Learning English, for example, you can find lesson plans for you to choose. For example, you need to prepare a student for a job interview, and then you can find a lesson plan there. Richmond Share has, there are many people that will participate today who write for Richmond Share, and they share very interesting ideas. And there is BRAZ, which is one of my favorite ones. You can put your questions there and someone will always help you. We call Natalia Guerreiro the ELT Google because she always has an answer for something. There is always British Council, One Stop English, Inglês para Professora, and there are other down there, Beatriz Solino, Ricardo Barros, they have lesson plans for you too. So it's a very good way of developing and being up to date. And if you're not part of BRAZ, please become, because it's really interesting. And my fourth tip is being part of a teachers association. And Henry talked a lot about it. We can participate in conferences, regional conference courses, webinars, and those are the three most important associations we have for Brazilian teachers, yeah? The BRAZ, TESOL, and EFLtalks. I think nobody likes to be observed, but it's a very nice way of growing. So we must engage in peer informal observations. Maybe the school where we work is not, doesn't do this very often, but we could request our coordinator, our director to observe us. Say, oh, am I going to ask them to observe me? Yes, you are, because it's a very good way of becoming a better teacher, yes? And if it's not possible, and even if it's possible as a plus, you could ask a peer to observe you. And then you won't be so afraid, and it would be a very good way of learning some things, because when we're teaching, we cannot realize what you're doing. So it's very nice to have someone observe us. My tip number 6 is to plan our lessons, because if you just open the book and teach, I'm not saying that you do this, but many teachers do. Yeah, just open the teacher's book and follow the plan they suggest. They are very good plans, but it's very nice when we can complement and put other things and think of other ways that our students could learn. And a very good way of doing this is by planning our lessons, because then we get to learn more. Every time we plan a lesson, we learn more. And together with that, we have to reflect on the lessons and practice. Reflect on what you're doing. You can keep a diary, for example, of what was good or what wasn't good about your lessons. You can, I generally use Post-its. I don't have so much time to write something long, but I put a Post-it in exercise that I really liked the way I conducted or I didn't like, because after 1 year, believe me, you won't remember it anymore if you don't write it anywhere. And it's a very good way of thinking of other ways of doing the things in a better way. My tip number 8 is about using the skills. So how do our students learn? We always say, oh, we teach you how to listen, speak, read, and write. So we should practice those skills as much as possible. We should speak as much as possible. We should read as much as possible. We should write, and we should listen. So we should use these skills as much as we can. And my tip number 9 won't cost you a thing, but is very helpful. So we must be curious about the language. So when there is something we don't know, we really should look it up. If there is a new word or something that we would like to discover, we should look it up in a dictionary, see the class of the word, and see everything we can learn about it. If you're listening to a song, we could do the same. There is this expression that I don't know, that I'm not familiar with. This is something that I should look up the meaning and everything. Well, when we are watching Netflix, for example, we should try to discover something. I always take some notes on some expressions that I don't know, and I try to bring them to life. So this is something that we as teachers could do, and then we learn a lot. When the explanation from the book we're using is not so clear, we should look for a grammar for teachers and then check that. Oh, is this really an exception, or there is a reason behind this? I think to help us develop so much. And finally, my tip number 10 is to be open to feedback. It's very important, because if we think we know everything, first of all, if we think we know everything, we don't develop. And also, if we are looking for improvement, we have to be open to suggestions people give us, to feedback people give us. And this is something very important for me and really part of my career. Once I was giving a presentation, and Luis Otávio Barros was there, so he will talk to you later too, and then he remembered that. And then I told him before the presentation, as you are making me nervous already because you are here, can you give me some feedback later? And he did, and it was great. So I try to do this. We must be open, because I believe when we think you're tops, you won't do much climbing. So that's the message I'd like to give to you. And I hope you have a great event. Thank you.